Hi, my name's Colleen.
My name's Jimmy, and this is Goose.
And this is Sunny, our van. Let's come inside. So, as you can see, we don't have a step to get in, but we do have this rope here that we got from a zip lining job. Pull up, and you're in. And then when you wanna, this door is easy to close. This one a little heavier, so what we did is attach a leather, it's actually a belt, to the door, bolted it on the top, and that way we can swing that shut while we're standing in the van. This fabric was on sale at Joann Fabric, so of course we got it. It's awesome. It's got all our favorite things, mushrooms, plants, insects. All right, so this is my dream Forest Witch kitchen. We've got here just a collection of things that we found on all our hikes around the West. Same on the counter, it's just a bunch of stuff to burn, like incense and flowers that we found on a hike, and a cat skull. So we have a sink here and a cooler fridge that both run off of the solar, and then we have a propane double stove here. So that was one of the biggest perks when we moved from tent life to van life, was it not mattering if it's raining outside to cook. In this drawer, kitchen drawer here, we have just all our spices, tea, cooking utensils, but the trick here is we have our tortillas at the bottom of this drawer because the vent from the mini fridge gets really hot, so it heats up what's at the bottom of that. It's also, if you want to melt your chocolate a little bit, it's a good drawer to put it in. Yeah, so here on the walls we have our 2 pots. We really only use the 1 pan, 1 pot. We have 1 more just for coffee and tea and stuff. Up here we got your basics, your rice, nutritional yeast, which is a basic if you're vegan, mixed nuts, oatmeal, more nuts, also a must if you're a vegan. So this is a Coleman cooler fridge. It's only $100. It holds a decent amount of food. We usually get food enough for like 5 days at a time. 12-volt fridge. We have it hooked up to like a car charger port, but then there's also an extension for it. You can plug it into a normal outlet. In here we have our trash and cat food, and then behind the trash are our water, clean water, gray water for the sink. And then this one is our recycling. Just some cleaning products, tools, and a fire extinguisher. And also behind the fire extinguisher is a carbon monoxide detector. So those are 2 things you definitely want to have if you have a van. So here we have our baby Rosie, our Rose-Haired Tarantula. She's been with Jimmy for 5 years, and she's been on the road with us for 2 years, including 6 months out of a tent. So she's a trooper. We have just a little bit of storage here. We have like our toothpaste and floss and just some hair stuff for me in here. And all our books, I started off with like 3 to 5, and then I just keep exchanging more and more with friends and going to the library. So that winds up taking up quite a lot of room here. Behind that, we have like a little filing cabinet thing for all of our paperwork and health stuff. And then we have this guy who comes out and acts as a wall here. To block any light from getting out or getting in.
It's actually kind of funny. We were originally celebrating my 30th birthday at the Grand Canyon. We drove there from Denver. It was supposed to just be a couple days, but then it was March of 2020, so you can probably remember something big happened. We both got a call, right around my birthday. Happy birthday, you lost your job. There's a pandemic. So, we're in Arizona, and I kind of just like made a joke, like, what if we didn't go home? And we kind of just looked at each other like, wait a second.
Why would we go home?
Why would we go home? So that just kind of led us into traveling around the country in a tent for like 6 or 7 months. We went to like 20 national parks. We climbed like 10 of the 14ers out in Colorado. We had a great time, but then it started getting a little cold, so we're like, all right, do we want to keep doing this?
Yes.
So we got the van.
So this is our hallway. We have up on the wall here all of the national park and national monument, state park cards of all the places we've been to together. We have a mirror here, and over here are all Jimmy's photography. This one is one of my favorite ones. That was that whitewater draw in Arizona. There were like 20,000 sandhill cranes, and they all like lift up from the water to go hunting for the day at the same time. You know, we got Rosie and Goose represented, and a couple pictures from Tennessee. And then this bench is also storage. We have towels, shower stuff, extra blankets, extra shoes under there. That one's really helpful. It's long. It extends all the way to the back of the van, so you can also reach it from the back. So this is our solar system. We have a 12-volt battery for 2 solar panels on the top of the van. We got a 12-volt solar charge controller, our fuse box here, and a sine wave inverter that powers our outlets here and in the kitchen. I think we've only run out of power 2 times, and that was when we were in the Northeast in the winter, so it wasn't that surprising. But if you got some sun, we're golden. So this is Goose's little pad. He's got his picture of mommy and daddy in there in his room, picture of the saguaros, his backpack, his hat. It's Goose's little pad, and we can give him privacy anytime we want with this little curtain there. All these drawers here we use for clothes, with the exception of the bottom one. So this drawer is just random stuff, some of Jimmy's photography stuff, office supplies / project stuff, all of our extra cords, and all of our vitamins, because we're old now and we take a lot of pills every day. But most of them are just clothes. The guy that we got the van from, he lived out of it for 5 years, so he did most of the structural work. We did the aesthetic touches, but there was even a storage shelf up here because he was a ski instructor and needed more space for all his equipment. But with 2 people in the van, that was not gonna fly in the bed when you have to crawl over the other person. So we took that down because we were so happy with the amount of storage in all the other spots. I would say one of the biggest benefits, at least from my end, was being able to cook inside. It's a little hard when you're tent camping and it's like pouring outside or really cold or something. You got to get out your Coleman grill and get out all your pans and your food. And the other thing I would say is having a mini fridge instead of a cooler. It's just really nice for your food to not get like soaking wet all the time. We do talk about, though, we kind of sometimes miss tent camping because there were things we would do more often, like, you know, if we had to do laundry, we would do it in the lake with like environmentally safe, you know, laundry detergent and a bucket and a plunger. And hang it to dry like in the trees wherever we were staying. So, but then now that we do van life, we more often just go to a laundromat. So stuff like that, you know, we've leveled up, but sometimes, you know, we're talking about ways that we can go back to leveling back down because we really liked how just close to nature we were.
Yeah. This is our bedroom. Bed's a little bit short. Wish it was a little bit longer, but we kind of both sleep like this, so we make it work a little bit. But we definitely really like the mattress. So I actually had a purple mattress before this, and I just bought it, and we got the van, and we're like, this thing is kind of big. So we made the decision to kind of cut it, which, you know, obviously voids the warranty, but, you know, we had to do it, but we definitely don't regret it because, man, we like sleep pretty good in here. So it's super comfy. We got some good wool blankets for at nighttime, but, you know, right now it's kind of getting a little hot outside, so they're just taking up space. Actually, above the bed right here, we actually mummified some pheasant wings. And threw them up there and some flattened flowers that we found on some hikes and just made a cool little design out of it. We try to keep it really cozy though, just with all of that like natural kind of stuff. Got a good big pine cone from Washington. Stuff's from all over the place, you know. We like to shop around a lot. This guy right here, as for specs, I have no idea. But it does run off of propane, and in the wintertime, you know, if you want it to kind of just be warm in here, you just turn the propane on. Heats it up really nice. It is by the bed, so we have to be careful of, you know, blankets kind of going over it, but you know, I mean, as long as you be careful of it, it's, you know, kind of like a nice little Pop-Tart in here. So gets nice and cozy. So if we're not using this, so in the summer, if we're just using the stove, I mean, it'll be like half the year, like 6 months or so. We just like don't change propane. We cook a lot. But if we are using this thing, I don't know, maybe like a month, something like that. Yeah, so in the back here, we've got just some photography stuff. You know, the camera that I use, it's a Nikon. Got an old-fashioned antique camera. It's actually really interesting. My dad got this at a thrift store. And there was a receipt from like, I don't know, in the 70s or so of my uncle that bought it. It somehow found its way back to me, so that's pretty cool. We got a little Polaroid camera up there. Some cool stuff just, you know, that we found like feathers, yellow feathers on a beach, and just some other cool stuff that we just kind of find places. These curtains right here, actually Colleen just sewed these. So we went to Joann Fabrics and just kind of cut these guys out. We've got a copper bar right here that this just slides along. So anytime we want some privacy, just close it up just like this, you know, keep one open. It also kind of makes it look really nice inside, so the lighting's really nice with the coloring. So this guy right here, this is Colleen's. I have no idea where she got this from, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, we just, you know, I mean, when you live in a van with somebody, it's kind of, sometimes you just need a little space. So learning that was definitely interesting, but you know, I mean, we kind of make it happen. We separate the rooms a little bit. It's the best we can do. So sometimes like one of us will just be hanging out in the kitchen and one of us will just be like laying in the bed or something like that. But it's a nice little divider for that. Also just kind of like laying in the back. Sometimes you just want to close it off and lay here and just look out at like a pretty nice view. Or, I mean, yeah, you get to lay in bed wherever you want to. So we'll pull up to some lake or something like that, or an overlook, and we'll just kind of sometimes just get stuck there for the whole day, you know, just sitting in bed. It's pretty nice. It's definitely brought its challenges, but you know, I mean, like we've got some things. You know, I showed you. There's the that curtain we pull over. We also have like totally different sleep schedules. So she wakes up super early, and she'll just go for like a 2-3 hour hike right away, and like she gets back and I'm still in bed. I'm like just waking up, and then she goes to bed early, and then I usually just kind of stay up a little bit, like editing photos or whatever, you know. So we find ways to kind of keep ourselves, you know, give ourselves some our own time and stuff like that.
The good thing about van life is you're usually chasing the weather, so you're living in places that are perfect temperature during the day, so you can always take space by one of you going outside, and you know, like here it's at the park in Moab, you know, just one of us out on the blanket reading or sewing curtains or something, and the other one gets the whole bed, which is always nice.
Yeah, so this is the back of Sunny. So we've got the bed right here, but below the bed we do have some storage, big pull-out drawer right here with a load of storage that comes out. Inside we've got an extra water reserve here, a bunch of like collapsible chairs, our tent. We've got a big foam pad that we put in our tent, a bunch of other stuff, just random stuff we can't find places to go. But it's super helpful to have this guy here under this thing. I mean, we couldn't do this without the storage under here. On the sides here, we've got just some stuff for, you know, just in case like we're on some uneven ground, we just kind of throw these under the tire. Helps us sleep a lot better. There were some hammocks on the side over there, but so this is kind of like we like to say our like kind of like living room setup situation outside. We've just got like a rug rolled up. We throw it outside if we're gonna spend like some time at a spot. And then we have like a pop-up awning, so it's just like a, you know, a nice little spot outside to hang out. We do have a movie projector too that we can set up to it, so if we want to just sit outside of the van and just throw on a movie, Lord of the Rings or something like that, you know, it's pretty good to have. So yeah, this is our cockpit. So this is a 2002 Ford Econoline. It's got the high top for standing room and extended cab. Before this, I think it was like meant to transport old folk. So they maintenance it pretty well. We've got a little over 250,000 miles in the engine, and it gives us like no problems. Knock on wood. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it runs great. Really couldn't ask for a better vehicle. Got a nice little garden here. Before I was doing the van thing, in my apartment I had, I think, probably like 40 something plants. So couldn't really give that up entirely. So I do my best to keep it alive. It's kind of hard, but we find heat-resistant plants to kind of keep it easy. Some cactuses, you know, this guy right here, that's Penny. We've had Penny for a while. Yeah, so all kinds of eclectic stuff. I mean, we've got like a coyote skull right here, an old turtle shell. But yeah, just kind of gather all the stuff, throw some stickers up there, and just, yeah, call it home.
Well, it's not a van until you have some stuff on front. So it's funny, we've actually been seeing these around more and more since we've done it, but these are just some spine bones of a cow that we found at a camp spot. This is a cholla cactus branch. Find those anywhere in the Sonoran Desert. Another spine and a couple more cow bones. We love our cows. So we found Goose at a mechanic shop in Carrizozo, New Mexico, which is a town of, I don't know, maybe 50 people. And the mechanic was named Lucky, and he had Goose and a couple other cats at his shop since they were kittens. He fed them, you know, every morning when he got there. They slept in the shop overnight. And Goose just caught our eye right away. We fell in love with him because he does this thing where he'll paw your hand and he'll pull your hand to wear on his body. He wants to be pet. We just thought that was the cutest thing. And Lucky said, you know, if you guys want to drive away with him in your van, I wouldn't be that upset about it. You could probably give him a better life than we can. So we said, I mean, all right. So we got him in the van and just stayed parked in the lot overnight to make sure he was okay with it. But he fell asleep right away. Everything was so soft and warm compared to what he was used to. So rest is history. We've had him for like 7 months now. Before COVID hit, we were both working on political campaigns for a few years. And then since living on the road, we've done adventure guiding, zipline guiding specifically, which is a really good gig if you're looking for seasonal work where you can show up to a beautiful town, you know, work for 3 or 4 months. Then you could take 3 or 4 months off because you have so much money saved up and you're not paying rent. And then go work, you know, every other season or every third season even. And that's plenty to keep you going.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow us and what we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram on Jimmy Mountaintops. Feel free to reach out, send us a message if you have any questions about like how to do this lifestyle, or you know, even just how to get started or anything like that. We love, you know, answering that kind of stuff. Thanks for coming to see our van, and I'll see you guys on the road.